Cam's back. We can start. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Coming of Shadows, the Babylon 5 Retrospective, Season 2. Welcome. This week on the show, we're going to be talking about Episode 19, Divided Loyalties, and it's a bit of a banger. There's two big secrets to be revealed, and I just got to say it, let everyone know, I guessed that these were the secrets. I wasn't that surprised, so just so everyone knows, I suspected that this was this. I wasn't that surprised. Yeah. But before we get into the show, let me welcome my co-host, the man who understands what the word "but" means. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
Good evening, everyone, or good morning for some of our viewers and sometime co-hosts.
Yes. Good more evening. Okay. I got a few little administrative things to go over before we get into the show proper. But
1,000 followers?
No.
Oh,
we haven't hit 1,000.
Oh, okay.
We are stuck at 635. We've been there for like 2 weeks now or something. That's fine. That's no problem. We carry on. We do what we must. No, a couple things, but I'm going to bring in. Let's bring in our panelists. Let's bring in Jeff. Where is he? Oh, there's my little thing. Click it on there. And let's bring in Madman is our guest panelist for the show today. Jason's been working pretty hard. I don't think he's doing a show all this week, so I haven't heard from him specifically, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make it. He's pretty busy. So if he shows up, hey, we'll throw him in. If not, pour one out for your homies. All right,
I'm
gentlemen,
glad to step in.
Welcome. Yes.
Welcome, Madman.
All right. So a little bit of the first of all, let's talk about we have a new promo for season 3 made by someone who I guess remain nameless, and I'll just claim all the credit for this myself. But we have a new promo, and that promo is going to go up next week. We'll premiere it on the show live next week. What the promo is, and it's pretty well done. I got to say, it's pretty good. I couldn't do it myself. That's why I'm going to claim credit for it.
Did you pay a lot for it?
I paid a fortune. It's going to go up live next week, but I want to do a little bit of a preview. A little sneak preview of the title card from the promo. So I'm going to put it up here right now. And there it is. It looks pretty good, eh? What a great job I did. I am awesome. That's for next season. And no, it wasn't me. Madman did all this stuff. So props to Madman. He did a great promo. We're going to premiere it next week.
You're welcome.
He's got a shorter promo too. He did the title card. It looks awesome. Who else? Cam, you've seen it, right? What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's very professional, and I also like that Londo is prominently featured, as is the corrector.
He looks evil there.
Yeah.
And Jeff, you've seen the promo, right?
Yes.
And what about your thoughts? Don't just let me stand here saying it's so great. I want some.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, it's really good.
Neutral.
It was. You paid a lot of money for that.
Madman did it out of the kindness of his heart. I didn't pay a cent, and I had no idea he was doing it. He just sprung it on me, and I'm like, "Wow, that's awesome! Way better than anything I could do." And next week, when you guys see it, you'll go, "Yeah, that's pretty much better than the season 2 promo and the season 1 one that I did myself."
This might be coming out of left field, but I think because this is such a great job that we should cut Madman in on a full 25% of the season 2 profits.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I guess it's only fair. Remind me, what is 25% of 0?
Oh, well, it's the thought that counts.
It's still 0.
It is the thought.
It's the thought that counts. Yeah. So I mean, and look, this is just the title card. Like everyone's going, "Hey, I like it." Greg C likes it. I mean, of course, you've got great taste, Greg. But this is just the title card. Like this is not. It's a full 2-minute and 20-something second, 26-second video that he did, and it looks great. Oh no!
The short version is 138.
138. Yeah. Oh, listen. All right. Well,
surprise.
Death Angel Shadow is going to go down as our first super chatter. Super chats are now available. I figured out how to do it. It's not hard. You just check.
I finally contributed.
Madman just got 50 cents minus YouTube's
cut of 95% or whatever they take. Yeah. Yeah. So because it's still season 2. There you go. All right. So yeah, we have super chats now enabled. We crossed that hump last Sunday.
Yeah.
Last Friday, and I was able to do stuff. And I haven't done memberships yet. I have not enabled
We'll
them.
work on that.
I'm not sure if it's easy to do. I'm not sure if I should or not. Because I probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, the first super chat goes to Death Angel Shadow. Now you shall once sci-fi this channel has taken over all of media. People will be looking back 1,000 years from now and going, "Hey, who was the first?" Be a trivia question. Who was the first super chatter on the king of all media? And it'll be you. Awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty good. All right. Okay, that's about those are the main administrative stuff we had to do. Yeah. Shall we jump right into it? I guess we should do trivia first, right?
I think you got a second super chat.
What?
Another one.
Hey, Snob, we're working towards that $19 or 60, whatever Canadian, right?
That's yeah.
So
$16 Canadian.
Pay for restream.
That's right. Which is like $5 American. So it's probably there already. Right on. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Okay. So let's go on to trivia. And you know what? Before we do, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Welcome. Welcome to Dean, our another of our guest panelists. Good to see you, Dean. Who else? Is everybody else? Oh, Jeanette Buffington. We know who Jeanette is, of course. Thank you, Jeanette, for coming in. And Vicky is. Vicky saying, I thought Vicky you were gonna just lurk in the chat, but good to see you. We got Greg C. And that's it. Everybody else is just simply hiding out in the chat. But, that's fine. Hey, we appreciate everybody comes out. We appreciate those of you who just want to remain lurkers down below. And we appreciate the those of you who belong to the League of Unaligned Worlds and simply love to talk. Thanks.
And
thanks,
we
Greg.
have another super
Appreciate
chat.
it. Yeah, thanks, Greg. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Okay, let's get on to our trivia from last week, and then we'll move right along. Okay, trivia questions. Let's pull it up here. Last week's trivia questions from Confessions and Lamentations. What is the name of the disease killing the Marcabs? Once infected, how long is there between symptoms of death? Who goes into the isolation area to comfort and aid the dying Marcab? What does Franklin use to keep himself awake while searching for a cure? And, quote, what do you call 2 billion dead cabs? And, of course, the answers from last week. It's the Droffa Plague, which we've been talking about. It only takes them like 1 day. Once they start seeing symptoms, they die within 1 day. Delin is the one who goes into the isolation area to aid the dying Marcabs. Should probably be Marcab. S on the end there, eh? And the doctors take stims. I wonder if we're going to see something about that later. He's been taking the stims lately. And the joke at the end of the show is planetary redecorating is what they call it, which is, a little bit tasteless in my view, but all right. All right. Okay, and that's trivia from last week. Shall we jump right in? Gentlemen, let's get right into this week's.
Is Cam going to read the short summary?
Of course he is.
Okay.
He always does.
I'm contractually obligated to do that.
That's right. It's in his contract. And I'm going to put the chat on the screen so everybody can see it. All right.
Ready?
Let's go.
Okay. Episode 19, Season 2, Episode 41. Divided Loyalties, original air date in the U.S., October 11th, 1995, and production order 220, so slightly out of order. Lita Alexander returns to Babylon 5 with news that one of the command staff may unknowingly be a sleeper agent for the Psi Corps.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Yes. Yes, indeed. And, of course, all hail Space King. Yes. All right. Let me do a little bit longer just to remind everybody, if it's been a while since you've seen it. So the show starts off with Delin, before the opening, Delin and Sheridan, they're having a newspaper, and Delin's talking about how she learns more about Membar society from the Earth newspaper, from sometimes in her own. And then we cut to 2 guys on Mars, and they're like going through a sewer or something. One guy looks like he's pretty much dying, and they pass some sort of data crystal. He collapses and says, "Get this to Babylon 5." Dun, dun, dun. And then we do the opening credits, of course. Mm-hmm. All right, so the show starts out after the credits. Garibaldi and Sheridan are in what appears to be a washroom, a regular bathroom. I'm not sure. I'm surprised the captain of the Babylon 5 doesn't have his own washroom that he can use, a private one. But anyway, they are talking about trees, and you're listening and going, "Hey, what the heck is this about?" Garibaldi's scanning the place, and they go, it's all clear, and they have a little secret meeting and talk about bringing Talia into their little rebel cell that we've known they've been working on. Next, we cut to Talia and Ivanova, and they're starting to get along. And something's wrong with her place, something with the air conditioning, and Ivanova
foreshadowing
decides to say, "Hey, yeah, come stay at my place." And I'm like, "Hey, it's good that they're getting along." I'm thinking, that's awesome.
That's great, isn't it? Oh, I can't.
I thought it was good.
To see all that.
Ivanova gets called away, and there is apparently a ship floating towards Babylon 5. Came through the gate. There's one person on it, but they're not answering any hails. They bring it in, and they pull this unconscious person out, and Garibaldi's there. He notices, he goes, "Hey, that's Lita Alexander, the telepath who was first on the ship in episode 0. He doesn't say episode 0, but in the pilot. And we then we get a little bit of a history of Lita. Garibaldi gives it to Sheridan, and we can talk about that later. Details about that. That she wakes up in medbay, demands to see the captain. She's pretty upset and claims that one person on the station is a traitor.
Oh no!
And we hear
about
she gets with the crew. She explains that there is some sort of sleeper program set up by Psi Corps, and they implant some sort of personalities in people. And when they get a code word, that the implanted personality takes over, and the old personality ceases to exist. Lita says she can check everybody by sending the code word, and you can see if they flip or not. And of course, Ivanova, who hates telepaths for some reason, says no. And she's pretty upset about it, as we've seen from season 1 and season 2. There's a little bit of a scene with Sheridan Delin. He's complaining about stuff, and they have a little hand touch further on going on their little romance thing that they're working on. Sheridan and Garibaldi then get together. They discuss Lita, and Garibaldi says she checked her out. She checks out, and he's got a good feeling about her. Meanwhile, we see Talia and Ivanova seemingly getting closer. Sheridan decides he's going to wait, and maybe in the morning he's going to let Lita do her thing with the brain checking. He says, "Hey," tells Garibaldi, it's Garibaldi or one of them decides, "Hey, let's move her to a better cell so she can actually have get some sleep." Somebody comes out and shoots at him, kills one of the guards, and injures the other one. But Lita escapes. We don't know who that person is, but I will say that person was wearing some sort of long gloves, I noticed. Sheridan then decides that he's going to do a scan. He's going to make everyone do it, even though Ivanova doesn't really want to. He says, "Hey, we got to do this. Otherwise, we're in trouble if we don't know who a traitor is in our midst. We got to know that if we're doing all this secret conspiracy stuff." Next scene, Ivanova is talking to Talia. She's being a little bit evasive. She says stuff like, "What are people going to say if they find out you're lying for years?" And we kind of get the impression that maybe Ivanova is the mole. Dylan then comes to Dylan then comes to Sheridan, tells him that she can bring Lita in, but she doesn't want to tell you where you are. He says, "Yeah, okay, bring her in. Let us know. We'll all be there." Sheridan and Ivanova is waiting in. Sheridan goes back to his room. Ivanova happens to be there waiting for him. She tells him that she is a latent telepath, and that this is the first big reveal. She can block people. She's surprised, Sheridan is surprised.
She can tell when they're scanning. Yeah,
she can tell when they're scanning. She's got maybe a P1 or P0 or something, but she is somehow a telepath, and she's been hiding it since she was a little kid. And Sheridan also has a little flashback to a vision he had earlier in the season. We'll talk about that. We then go back to Sheridan. They decide to start scanning everybody in the command staff, even the junior officers, anybody, security people. Nobody finds anything. Everybody checks out. They don't scan Ivanova. But finally, after they scan everyone else, she says, "Look, just do it to me anyway." And they scan her. Nothing. She's not the traitor. At that time, Talia comes in, and she says, "Hey, I want to talk to you about something." And Lita sort of automatically almost scans her, and boom, she's the traitor. She goes crazy, really evil. She grabs, I'm not sure if she grabbed Garibaldi's gun or she had one of herself, but she takes a shot at
You're dead, Lita Alexander, you're dead.
And misses her. Garibaldi's got to wrestle her to the ground. She is the traitor.
The core is mother. The core is father.
That's right. She completely switches her personality. Then we have Garibaldi says they're kind of discussing what we should do. They put her under house arrest. Garibaldi says, "Hey, I got to check on something." And he goes to check on something. Then Ivanova and Talia, Ivanova goes and sees Talia. She is completely changed. Her personality is backward or completely evil. She insults Ivanova, makes fun of her, calls her stupid, all kinds of stuff. Just sort of the worst thing you could ever happen to someone you thought was going to be a friend. And at the end of the episode, Lita goes to meet Kosh before she's supposed to leave the station and asks to see just one more time. And he starts taking off his encounter suit. So he flashes her or something. I'm not sure what's up with that. And then the show ends. that's it for the episode. So there's a little bit of questions. That's what's going on. All right.
So
Ken, where should we start?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, there was a good question that came out from Snugs. Did you see that?
Let's just go with Snugs.
Yeah.
Start there. All right.
He was saying, what did they have the writer out of the show?
There was some mention about something.
Actually, I have the answer to that.
Well, I mean, I had heard that she wasn't getting enough screen time or something like that, and the Straczynski.
It was a Tasha Yar thing.
Well, yeah, he had said something about they didn't really, she was only used sparingly, and because she wasn't getting the screen time she wanted, and there was not really a way for him to put her in there more. That they kind of this is one of those trap doors. Now
she wanted out.
Madman, I think should we get everybody else
out? Yeah, she opted out to leave the show, and she left for NYPD Blue at that time, which was running right now 93.
Yeah, probably more money too.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Left for more money.
NYPD Blue is pretty big, so.
Yeah.
And I can't fault her for it. I mean, I think they gave her an excellent out. It also, gave us a great storyline. So
it's too bad, because I liked her character. I mean, when they got rid of her, I'm like, how's she going to be on the station? I was like, oh, that's too bad because she was kind of getting into it. I kind of wanted to see her character grow a little bit and overcome that. And the fact that her and Ivanova were sort of becoming friends, I was like, oh, this could be all right. But
so it's interesting how they fit some of the flashbacks about her, and because remember when Kosh was messing with her, and they kind of put that as one of those all the flashbacks. They like to do these flashbacks in black and white. Obviously, that's for
that will be season 1, Death Walker.
Was that the one when they had the Vicar on?
Yeah, it's season 1, Death Walker, which basically Kosh was pulling something from her mind. She says something, and remember what Kosh said: something for later.
Yeah, I think I've got that actually written down. So the question is, was this already in the works from that point that they were going to write her out?
How did Mars find out? That's the thing.
How did Mars find out?
How did the Resistance find out? That's the question. Even though there is, because they mentioned Psychor is on Mars. The Psychor has a base on Mars.
Yeah.
How did they get the information that basically somebody is a sleeper agent, and that they're on Babylon 5?
Well, you would have to assume that the Resistance, whatever they're calling them, have someone in Psychor that's helping them out.
They must, yeah.
Greg C. Tubi's wrong. This is episode 19. They are off on most of their episodes by one.
Well, Tubi plays it by the production date, right? Didn't we figure that out once?
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're playing them in order of production.
Not the order of them being seen.
Right. So next week, this one should be on the Tubi, or the next episode, I should say, would be the correct one for this week.
Yeah, I'm going by the DVDs. So
yeah, that's what we're doing, the official DVDs, etc. Yeah,
but we have to say R.I.P. Talia, because she's gone. Her mind is she's no longer Talia.
I guess the real Talia.
She doesn't exist. Yeah,
doesn't exist.
And that kind of bugged me. I'm like, oh, she's a nice character, and I'm like, oh.
I was kind of. I'll tell you. Now you said you weren't shocked, Snob.
Well, I'll tell you why.
I started suspecting it was her when they showed that scene where she was in the bed.
They threw you off. They threw that as a red herring.
That threw you off because you figure that Ivanova's going off and she's shooting somebody.
Actually, no. I thought she might be planning listening device or something like that. So that's the point when I started suspecting Talia. I did not suspect Talia until that point.
Here's the reason I suspect her. I assume that they, implanting some sort of, secondary personality on someone isn't just something you just like snap your fingers and happen. That you'd have to undergo, heavy conditioning, and they'd have to hide it from you. And who better do it than another telepath, right? When Talia goes back to Psychor for her, yearly annual debrief or whatever the heck they do, or they could easily just pull her aside and, put stuff into her. But, doing that to someone like Sheridan or Garibaldi or Ivanova or the Doctor, like, how would you do that? You'd take, how would you spirit them away? And
well, remember from a previous episode that the when you're found guilty of a crime, they do a mind wipe on you,
right,
and change your personality.
They already have the canon established for
that, which we will be seeing again in season 3.
Yeah, but it doesn't just happen. Like, you need the character would need to go away, right?
But
so who easier to do that on than someone like Talia, right?
Well, I mean, Susan was a likely candidate because, especially once it was revealed that Susan is a latent telepath, and her whole resistance. Yeah, I mean, he already spoiled that part of it.
They would have had to get her in like way before, right?
But she might have.
Easier for Talia to say.
They could have picked her up when she was a little girl, and she could have been trained and then programmed, and then she went through the cadet, thinking she's only like a P0, P1, trying to hide it. You know what I mean?
It's a possibility, but
that's the way I went. That's
really long-term thinking, and I thought that was a little too long-term.
But when it kept on going on and on, that they were delaying, that Susan was the very last one that they scanned.
Yeah.
Before Talia walked in.
But you see, for me, it wasn't so surprising because, you
spoiled it.
Telepaths
are
hereditary, right? So it would be obvious for her to be a telepath, and her hiding the fact that she's being angry and saying I don't want him to scan me, and pretending to hate telepaths so bad is a little strange because her mother now is a telepath. Now on the other side of that, she hates Psychor because of what they did to her.
Honestly, it was
her
genius.
Being a telepath would be kind of obvious that she would have some sort of ability.
But it was kind of genius either way. I mean, either way it worked out because she is in the command staff. She's on the CNC. She was lieutenant commander at the beginning in the pilot, right? She was lieutenant commander.
Yep.
And now she's commander. So she's the same rank that her previous boss was, right?
Yeah, but it's pretty hard. It's pretty tough to, you could, I mean, it can happen, but putting someone, 20 years before and putting them a personality in them and then hoping for them to be a commander, you'd either have to, and hoping them to get on to, an important position.
But
you'd either have to
favorite, so I'm sure she'll be there for the long haul.
You'd have to, help her career along as well.
Well, you have to remember, Ivanova and Talia did not come in until season 1, episode 1. They were not in episode 0, the pilot.
That's true. Susan was not. I forgot.
Remember that.
Yeah, she was not in the pilot.
I think that's a good.
It was the Asian woman that.
Right,
that
and then you
didn't
had
like.
Alexander.
She was like a peacenik and didn't like playing a role like that.
Yeah. Remember, after the pilot. And we go into episode 1. You have a complete crew change to the situation. You bring in Ivanova, you bring in Talia Winters, to change things up from on there, and you bring Dr. Steven, in as well, because you at this point, after the incident with Kosh, the Doctor and Lita got called back to Earth.
Right.
Yeah. To that point, as it was mentioned at the beginning of this episode. That they
and I was going to say, and that right there introduces also the whole, they do mention it, and they do mention the callbacks. They tie right into,
They kind of are backfilling that though. We didn't see this stuff. This is Garibaldi telling the audience what happened after that. So
no, we found out that they were both recalled.
I'm saying Garibaldi was saying, "Oh, she wasn't right after that," and da 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 da. That was nothing that was ever portrayed on the show.
No, that wasn't.
So because she was gone, obviously, but this this episode has a lot of hand waving, in my opinion. Now, you guys might differ and think, but that's one of them. That's starting with it, which is okay. Garibaldi is retroactively doing this. It's a fine vehicle for doing that because Garibaldi was there, and it's like, oh, Lita's here. Okay, well, yeah, let me tell you about Lita.
Yeah, he's the one. He's the one that's been the same. I'll tell you,
we would as viewers, we wouldn't have seen that if she was not right after that. We wouldn't have seen it because you've got you've got the pilot, and then we've got some sort of unknown amount of time, a few weeks, and then the first episode. So.
Now they Straczynski did a good job here of tying. It's like, oh, they both had to leave because they both encountered. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so he kind of used that effectively, I think, in that case, to make it about the Kosh thing.
Right.
Which then comes up later. The fact that she was, they were questioning her about that a lot. Why she was recalled. So this episode tells you what happened to her regarding that too, which is again fine.
We never did. But did we ever get the real reason why Lita, the actress, just wasn't? Did she not test well in audience screening, or what was the reason?
Madman, you know a little bit about the behind the scenes on that?
I'm trying to remember on that. I know there was some. They made the changes because of going from pilot to the episode. They wanted to bring in some other actors to replace them that would be better suited for the role at that point.
I mean, it could have been as simple as.
But on the Lita Alexander part, I think it was a time period of.
She got another role or something.
She had another role, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look that up. Give me a second here.
Yeah, I was just curious, is because I thought she was great. I didn't have a problem with her. Now the original Doctor, I didn't like him. I didn't like him. He was very. I think I made a lot of commentary on that pilot about how he was very much like a 1970s doctor or one of those kind of daytime shows that we caught as kids on daytime television, but I'm sure they were prime time back when they first aired, and they trying to overact and but that's the I'm just curious, because I thought she was good. Maybe, who knows, maybe she got a role with that other franchise, the 800-pound gorilla.
Okay, I thought I was just looking up to the whole situation because she had a lot of stuff going on at that time period in the early 90s for the actress. I thought it was because it was Night of the Living Dead, but I was wrong on that because that was about 2-3 years earlier. Okay, that's what I thought it was, but I know she was pulled away for some of the role, and I can't.
I mean, how long? There was a delay between the pilot and the show actually getting greenlit. So
right. Yeah. But she had already completed Night of the Living Dead at that point.
Yeah. Okay, I want to. I'd like to.
Cam, if I can just interrupt. Yeah. Sorry, before a little bit of administrative stuff. I wanted to put up a poll there. I'm going to put it up now.
Do I get to vote?
I should have meant. Yes, you may vote. Anyone can vote. Meant to mention this earlier. I'm going to put this poll up. I'm curious as to how you in the chat who are watching the show. Have you seen all Babylon 5 and you're just watching the show as we go through it? Are you watching along with the show, or you're not watching the show at all? So I'm going to just put this poll up, and if you could just answer before the end of the show. I'm trying to get some info before we start season 3, and it might affect the show, how we, what we want to do. All right. So yeah, if you can answer that, just appreciate it. I hope the questions are pretty clear.
Okay, if I can interrupt for one more time on this, sure. Lita's role. At the same time this was going on, she was on Next Gen.
I told you.
On Next Gen, but also she had 2 other films, Army of Darkness and Ring of the Musketeers.
Which that would make sense. And so when this episode was filming, then she was free to reprise her role as a, and I could entirely plausibly see Talia, or the person that was Talia, returning in a. I could see her showing up next to Bester or something like that. You know, I could see that happening at some point in the future.
Yeah, I would.
I don't know if
I'm
it
not
happens.
I don't know if it happens either. I agree with you. I'm kind of expecting to see that, to be honest. Her to
her now
her
she's going to be the evil villainous sidekick to Bester or something like that. You know?
The novel, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the novelization has. Remember, here's the other point with Natalia. Ironhorse gave her a gift.
Yeah,
and
he did.
The new Talia would have the ability to use it. So, what would you think Psycor would be doing right now with Talia?
No, they're going to be studying her. Yeah,
they'll be pulling her apart.
So
I'm surprised they let her go back, though.
Yeah. So you know what? Jeff brought that up. Let me just, before we go back to camp, let me just bring that up. I wanted to bring this up earlier. Oh, and just Snug. Sorry, I couldn't put every option in there. Already watched a show. Just here to bully Cam. Wasn't put that in. But anyway, So here's the thing. I mean, I know Sheridan and Garibaldi, they're supposed to be the good guys, but you can't just let Talia walk off with these. They know, she knows half their secrets. She's gotta have an accident, man. She's gotta have an accident outside the airlock. She's got these powers that could be used nefariously. I mean, she's got to disappear. This is spy, secret agent stuff.
Yeah, okay. And if there's anything, I don't know. If there was one inconsistency that I did find in the episode, it's like they had her held in custody, and then next thing you know, you see her in her quarters, and Susan walks in to confront her.
Well, he says,
I'm like, wait a second, I thought she was.
He says, put her into house arrest. So
okay,
that means keep her in her quarters. But
she was packing when she was.
That's stupid. She tried to kill somebody.
No, she did kill. She killed 2 security guards. They have
security guard.
She killed one security guard and
injured the other.
Oh, okay.
She tried to shoot Lita right in front of Garibaldi and Sinclair and the rest of us.
The point is, those are capital or serious crimes, right?
Yeah.
And so you bring up a good point. It's just like, oh yeah, we're just going to send her back to Psycor now. No, and then they have a discussion about, okay, what does she know?
Yeah,
and all that. And
I saw that. I was like shaking my head, going, "What?"
I don't know if the show wanted to be that hardcore, or maybe they did have some plans for her. I don't want to spoil anything, but if these are people that they know, they're in their mind, they're fighting for the existence of their society. And now they have this, and they have a good, solid reason to hold her or unalive her. Them doing that obviously it didn't happen here, but that would have been an interesting bit. It's like, oh crap, we have to get rid of her.
Missing. We don't know what happened to her.
This is like French, World War II French resistance type stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to, first of all, they have to cover up the murder of the one guard and who shot the other guard. They got to tell, because they don't want anyone to know it was Talia, because if they do, then they can't kill her just outright. And that's what they have to do. They cannot let her get back to Psycor and say, hey, guess what? The Underground Railroad is, they're doing stuff. And I think they're planning against you, blah, blah, blah.
They did say that she had already she already knew about that. So.
Yeah, but they could. The point is, I mean, again, if this show was going to get real dark, they could have. It's like, boom, because they already killed, she already killed the one guard, and they could, and then she tried to, kill someone in action, and they could say, oh yeah, and we shot her in the process.
Yeah.
Meaning it was only them there, right? They could have, they would have to do it quickly, but they could have hatched that plan and then said, oh yeah, and we found out she also did this. We don't know why.
She can't go
she went berserk.
She can't go to trial because Psycor will just come in, swoop in, and just make up some crap and just bring her back. She's got to be killed right away.
She never. You have to remember to the point. Remember what happened to Garibaldi's number 2, and it was bringing him back to Earth.
Right.
He never made it.
Yeah.
Well, he just disappeared. We don't know what happened to him. Presumably, his handlers took care of him one way or another.
Speaking of his number ones and number twos or whatever you want to call it, was it obvious to everybody that he was a red herring?
Who?
Mr. Nightwatch guy.
Oh,
which
Zach?
we saw that. Yeah, Zach. We saw the armbands. When I saw him, and I'm like, oh, that's definitely not him because he's the obvious choice.
Well, they brought everyone in.
Yeah, but they brought him in, and he had the armband on, and he hasn't had the armband on every time we've seen him.
No, he has pretty much most.
Yes, he has.
He definitely had the armband on, and you could tell. I mean, it was designed so that the camera was, that was. I think you could read the logo even and see that it said Night Watch on it. There was it was an obvious implication that, hey, look, it's probably this guy,
I didn't.
And I discounted it right away. I'm like, it's definitely not him.
I'm kind of, 50-50 on him because he is kind of like, he doesn't seem to be a believer.
He's just doing it for the money.
Yeah, he's like, I'm doing it for the cash. Now, it could be a lie, but it could imply that he's not really, he doesn't really give a crap about these. He's not, like I said, a believer.
Yeah. Well, he was asking questions of that code that Garibaldi they were giving when they were all getting called together.
What?
Sorry?
The code. Garibaldi received the code in the back episode. And that was the code, the meaning for him and Sheridan to meet.
Oh,
right.
And
and he was asking around, have you ever heard this code before? He was asking that question.
Oh, I don't remember that, but
yeah, I think I forgot about that one. But
you know what? Let's talk about Ironheart a little bit here because, there's a few instances where. Okay, with the whole thing with Talia and her being control or whatever, right? Okay, so I was reading up on a little bit I forget which episode, but some episodes back when they had the other guy from Mars who was going off and
her husband?
No,
her husband. Okay, I'll talk about
was it? Okay. Maybe I'm forgetting that guy.
They were married and they had a kid.
Right.
They were supposed to.
Okay, so when that was going on, they had the whole thing with control, right? Where he was getting the messages, through the computer or whatever, or the communication thing. It was doing all that. Okay, that doesn't mesh with. I forget exactly what it was. There was a contradiction in there in terms of it if that was Talia, and I think they've explained it away, saying, "Oh no, this control thing. It's not necessarily just one person or whatever." So if that's the explanation, okay, that's fine. But there's other, so Ironheart, who is this immensely powerful telepath, encounters Talia, before he gave her the gift or whatever, and didn't get any inkling of what's going on with this programming, this other. So
well, she could have been programmed after that.
Yeah.
You got to remember what
her.
Yeah, but
she
no. Do you think? Okay, wait. That just brings up another problem then, because if she has this, whatever's going on with her, excuse me, where she's been boosted to, then having someone else reprogramming her doesn't seem to make a lot of sense either.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And wouldn't Ironheart have sensed that? Even though a deep scan may not detect it, but Ironheart was beyond anything a deep scan could do. Yeah.
Yes.
If she's already programmed when he gets, how come he doesn't notice? And if she's not afterwards, how come she can't stop herself? Let me just throw another one in there. Her husband comes. Remember the episode? Her husband comes and he wants her to go away with him, and we think that he's a little bit suspicious. We pretty much come to the conclusion that he's working for Psychor, even though he says he's not. He's just roaming the galaxy and stuff. He's working for them, and we pretty much get that impression. Why does he? Why is he trying to bring her? If she's been put on Babylon 5 and she's been a deep cover agent with this programming, why would Psychor want to tempt her to leave with this guy? Are they just testing her loyalty? But what if she says yes? Okay, let's go. Now they've lost their agent that they've implanted here in Babylon 5.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
and then there's the episode where Bester is where he's not able to scan her, at the end, where he's kind of like, and then again, are we to expect that Bester isn't aware of this program?
He's got
what's going on.
He's got to know about the Team Sleeper stuff. I'm assuming he's running it.
Long story short, none of this makes sense in my opinion. I think this is extremely sloppy and thrown together in a uncredible way. Is like, can you make excuses for it? Yeah. But I'm thoroughly unimpressed by
the hand waving. Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of
you got to remember this part with JMS. He's throwing pieces of puzzle at you. Yes, it's going to be a little confusing right now at the moment. You're like saying, what the hell's going on here? Why is this confusing? Why is this? I don't understand what this is going on. But the thing about it is, as we progress, we start to get other pieces that fit into the pieces that we are confused about.
But bear in mind, Cam has seen the whole series.
Yeah, I know, I understand that. But it's just
so
sometimes
two of us haven't, and two of us have.
Yeah, you have to understand, from my point of view to this series, is that everything will fit in as we get along. Now, the other half of it, which is a little bit of a problem, and it's a tweak situation, and that's why JMS takes over a lot of the writing in season 3, is the
all of it.
plot hole. The plot holes that basically, the trap doors to the point, because, we're hitting to the point when we get to season 3 and season 4, we're in a completely new territory from the original scripting.
Yeah.
To that point. So everything has to be shuffled around. Now, the Talia situation, she left the show. Of course, he would have to fix that specific situation. There is another actor, and I'm not going to mention who it is yet, because I'll explain it when we get to season 3. Another actor will drop off of this show for another series, and it has to be written off the show, who had a bigger role in season 3.
When we get to season 4?
Season 3.
Oh, so somebody else is going to drop off in season.
Another actor is going to drop off the series itself for another series.
Okay.
Just to go back real quick. I don't, with what Cam you were saying, I don't think it's wrong to have her being a deep cover type person. It kind of her character, it kind of makes sense.
Right.
But the way it's done, I agree wholeheartedly. There's huge plot holes all over.
Yeah.
Cam, do you want to? It
doesn't make it bad, but
what do you guys want to address Greg's point here?
Running out of ideas.
I would disagree with this, because the whole idea of this show and what makes it, this Babylon 5 makes it unique, is that they had a 5-year plan. Now, that's not to say that they have to make changes as they go because people quit or whatever. But I don't think they're running out of ideas. This show is supposedly, that's what makes it different than anything else. It's got a overarching plot, and it's a 5. They know before they start that this is where they want to go. And
he was still, from what I understand, he was still writing straight into season 5 and into the last episodes.
Yeah,
so
I think I even mentioned that where he had said, he wrote all but one of the next season and all of season 5, I think, or something like that.
Well, they could still be writing. Like, you might have to make changes. Just because you wrote something 5 years ago doesn't mean it has to stay. But that doesn't mean you're writing up. Just because you're writing up to season 5. Because the changes.
No. He actually said he was the writer on. He wrote all. Like there was 3 episodes, I think, this season that he didn't write. There was a bunch of them he didn't write in the first season. And then the next season, I think he said he wrote like all but 1 or something like that. And then season 5, he wrote everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, with JMS, he had a main template. He had what do they call it? A folder, which basically a ring binder with everything in there.
With PB, this is what PB says, and PB's point here. This is my understanding. He basically had his arc. He tweaks things. Of course, you got to tweak as you go. But
there's two. There's two, and that's what I've always heard too. What PB said basically is, this was plotted out. But more recently, the whole thing I read a summary, and I don't know if it's true or not, but someone had like, oh, this was basically the original storyline that because of the Sinclair change.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it was significantly different. I mean, it had many elements and things that came later and you were mixed up and everything. But if that was the case and he had this whole storyline prior to Sinclair leaving, then what we're doing now isn't that. So he couldn't have had this outline from the beginning. Maybe he reworked it after season 1 to now have a new 5-year plan. But it, again, I don't know if that thing was correct. Madman, do you know about that?
Yeah,
where
no,
the whole
there
thing
is
where it was really two. They were like two.
There is another. It's been out there, and there have been many YouTubers that have talked about this. That the other scripting is a completely different situation. Like I said in other back episodes of this show, the Narn Centauri situation doesn't come into season 4.
Right.
At that point, we don't get to
they
that level.
They had to pull it early
and,
because of the Sinclair.
And there's a lot more tragedy to the situations. Some of the stuff, in other words, some of the stuff that you saw in season 1 and season 2, the what do they call it, the prophets, the things that would happen, like especially that episode where the woman saw the destruction of Babylon 5. To that point, some of the elements of that is in the original script line, but that's been trashed for this particular scripting that's going on right now. Everything's been uprooted and changed.
Is that the narrative about, he's following this is I'm not trying to refute what PB was saying, because that was my understanding until recently as well, is that no, he doesn't have this whole thing. It doesn't mean that he's pulling crap out of his butt every week to week. I don't think that's the case, but the original storyline is gone. Again, not all of the elements of it, but it's very different from what the original concept was, if that's true.
I think he had an overall arc.
Exactly.
I think he had arcs that was written, and he had a plan, but he had to adjust them. Some of those arcs had to
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm not saying he didn't have a plan to begin with.
Yeah.
That's
the
season 3 will start.
That's the thing writers don't do today. That's the problem with Star Wars and Star Trek and everything. They don't have a plan.
And I'm not.
Let's just do whatever.
I'm not saying this to knock him, to say he didn't do the work. I'm saying that the situation changed such that whatever that original storyline was did not come to pass. Obviously.
Okay. So Sinclair left, and now Talia left.
We're way different.
So that's two major changes, right?
Well, that's why you have
Sinclair.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sinclair leaving changed everything, though. You can't. Yeah. It's Talia leaving is a drop in the bucket.
It's minor.
To Sinclair leaving.
Right.
You've had shows throughout history of television that you've had, characters died. Chico and the Man, Freddie Prinze, he died, in that series, and they had to continue on just with the Man. Same thing
Chico?
that happened with Sanford and Son when it became. He did another series, and he had passed away, and they went on without him.
Without Sanford?
Well, it was another series after the Sanford and Son series ended. And it was like the Red Fox show, I think, or something to that nature.
Yeah.
And he had passed away, and they went on with the series.
Yeah, but he was off. Well, not to get to that. It is one of my favorite shows, but that he was out for a long time too, where they had Grady and the other guys basically standing in for him.
Yeah, exactly.
But sure, yeah. So this is nothing unusual, and it's not to say that Straczynski didn't have all kinds of ideas that he did rework and everything,
right?
But
that's why you create a writer's Bible. See, that's the thing about it is Star Wars, Star Trek, Babylon 5. A lot of these older series had Bibles.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't do that in today's television.
Stargate.
Stargate, Doctor Who. If you were becoming a writer to write a Star Trek novel, or a Star Wars novel, they give you a template that you have to follow every time. And so you have to be sure you include this, that, and the other thing in order to keep the story flowing, even though it may not be part of the main story, but you still had to go by that Bible.
Right. Well, yeah, and today they don't bother.
They don't. No, they don't. They don't bother. That's the problem with broadcast television today. They
Yes.
don't. They don't use a show Bible anymore.
Well, not just broadcast. I mean, everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Some shows are good. Obviously Stranger Things. The Duffer Brothers had things kind of planned out, and I think it's crazy that
Having things planned out, or you've had to stretch for several years. You have to remember, JMS loved the British shows.
Mhm.
Why? Because the British shows were the originators of the story Bible.
Right.
All those older shows way back when, they used the Bibles. They, if the show was going to only last 5 years, they have already mapped out the 5 years it's supposed to be. If it's supposed to be 3 years, same thing.
Okay, let's get back to the apparent inconsistencies here. Does anyone? I kind of named several there. The Bester, the Ironheart thing, the control thing. Incidentally, it's not. It wasn't her husband. It was the other guy from the Warriors. So what was his name? That was killing people. That was.
You're talking about Michael Beck.
Is that it?
Ooh.
Yeah, Michael Beck. That's the episode with. Oh God, what's her name? I can't remember. Hold on, I'm looking through it. For season 2.
Did he name the? Did you just name the actor's name? Like I'm gonna
was that the one with was Adrian Barbeau in that one?
Yeah, Adrian Barbeau. That's the episode with Adrian Barbeau and
and there was the Mars stuff and everything, but that was the one with the control where we first heard about control, right? Well, I guess technically the second time.
They created a Frankenstein in him.
Yeah,
that's what they created. They just created a machine.
Right, but wasn't he being given orders from control?
Well, you have to remember there is a difference between what Talia went through and what the Michael Beck character went through in this series. Michael Beck was given instructions.
Yeah.
Right, but he was given instructions by control.
By control, but he still was himself. He wasn't losing himself. He was under the control of control.
I understand that, but the conflict supposedly that has been explained away is that Talia was the one doing it. It was meaning the other personality was the one that was sending those messages to him. Now, I think they've gone and said,
what? Really?
Well,
I think they
wouldn't push that because you have to remember what she said later.
This episode.
She says she only comes in control when Talia's asleep.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's been feeding Talia, things like be nice to Ivanova because I want to get information from her, that kind of stuff.
It's like her subconscious almost. Basically, this persona was her subconscious, kind of telling her, suggesting things to her.
Okay, all I'm saying is that you had control portrayed on that earlier episode, and then Talia is also control later, right? And so I number one, I don't think Talia was planned to be that at that point. So that was
remember he was looking at a screen,
right?
And he was receiving the communications from that,
right? And I think I'm just listing the contradictions, and this one might be one you can explain away. And they have explained away. They were like, oh no, control is just kind of a generic thing, and Talia in her secondary personality is that, but this was some other Psychor operation also called control. I think that's how they ended up explaining.
Yeah, I kind of made that assumption myself.
Could have been
just
much
because the code word is control to activate doesn't mean
Well, that wasn't the I mean, this was a psychic thing. What I want to know is how did they get this psychic keyword on the crystal? Was it you have to send this code to them, or what was on the crystal?
It was the information, the code.
I don't know.
Well, it might have been the information about the whole sleeper program,
and the code.
And then because Lita wasn't part of that. She came in at some point later, right? Meaning in this episode, Lita wasn't the one handing off information or having it handed to her. Right. It was handed to a ranger, by the way. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah,
I didn't, but
it was a ranger.
Was that a ranger?
I
guy,
didn't notice.
the guy that he talked to. I didn't
That's
catch
awesome.
that guy's name. I caught the guy who died's name, but I didn't catch the other guy's name.
Yeah, if you look, he's wearing the outfit basically
He's got the
like
cloak.
the other guy, and
he's got a cloak.
He's got the cloak, and he also has the brooch.
Oh yeah.
But he's dead, so that doesn't matter.
No, he's not dead. He's the guy that
suggest that two men lost their lives getting.
Oh, maybe you're right.
No,
Possibility.
well, I mean, it is possible. We know the one guy died, but the ranger presumably got this to somebody else.
Yeah, he got it to somebody.
Then the information was obviously read, so he succeeded in his mission.
It might have been Lita that he gave it to. We're not 100% sure of that. Obviously, it got to her eventually, but in any case, I just wanted to point that out, that it was a ranger, because it's something.
It's like in the Death Star plan.
I didn't notice.
People
I'm
had to
glad
die.
you pointed that out.
Yeah, it wasn't terribly noticeable if you didn't know what you were looking for.
Yeah.
But I thought that was cool. But back to okay, so I just want to hear what everyone thinks about these various contradictions. I was just kind of trying to go through them briefly. The control thing, the Ironheart thing, the Bester thing, all with Talia kind of encountering there.
You're really trying to affect my score,
I'll just talk about. I think I talked about the other part. I think those are big plot holes. The only thing, I don't really worry about the control thing, just because the code word sent is control, and they have something called control. That's kind of a generic term. I don't think they're necessarily related. It's just words that they use. I mean, there's something that they have that controls overall what's going on, and they just refer to it as control. But yeah, I don't think that's really.
I'm sure it has something to do with the shadow.
That I can see.
But at any rate, remember, get the enemy to fight amongst themselves, which is, of course, what Sheridan pointed out when they were all there and they all started, and it's like, okay, well, we can't be fighting about that. And that's when Susan finally relented. Now, Susan had already confessed to Sheridan that she's been concealing her secret, this one of the big reveals, that, she's a latent telepath. So, but she did finally, everybody was kind of like, look, we're all at odds, you know what? And I think I completely expected Sheridan to be the first one to go. He's like, nope, do me first, because I can, and it was totally rationally justified. I'm the one, you got to make sure that I'm the one first, and then I can't expect any of my people beneath me to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. So, but eventually, of course, Susan relented, and she's like, look, no, just do it now before I change my mind. So.
Okay, can I bring up the whole thing? It clearly they try to red herring us that Ivanova is the sleeper agent, right? And it's like, why? They just jam this into this episode. And now I to be honest with you, I think it might have been cool if they actually did play that out over a long period of time, and she was that. She wasn't.
Well, no, she's always had in previous episodes. Anytime it had to deal with the Psi Corps, she always had some sort of anger to Psi Corps.
I understand that. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm saying, I'm not denying that. That's certainly clear in this episode, and it's back to the, the old form of,
mother and all that.
Right. And they reveal a little bit more why about that, of course, here, her being a latent telepath. Right. But I'm talking about why they tried to make it out that Ivanova was the sleeper agent. It's like, there's several things in the episode that point to that, and her, talking seems to, it doesn't make sense to me either, because she's talking about it as if she consciously knows that she's the sleeper agent. I mean, in terms of red herring, right. It's like for us, it's like, are we supposed to expect that she's talking about this secret she's hiding from everybody that we've already been told isn't some, it doesn't, I don't understand what they were trying to accomplish here, and it didn't fit together, in my opinion. Or am I just stupid and I'm missing something? To me, this episode looks extremely ramshackle. But maybe I just
Well, you're leaving out one part.
Okay.
The relationship between Talia and Ivanova.
Uh-huh.
Well, so we haven't got to that, and I did write a couple of things down.
Okay, well let's go back. Let's talk about that. But do you understand what I'm suggesting in terms of the red herring?
I understand what you're saying.
With Ivanova, in this episode, they're presenting a red herring, right? Straczynski is, and the way that it plays out is questionable or whatever. But I don't understand why it's this. He knew obviously by the end of writing it that we were going to reveal this. It's just okay. Well, PB saying it's a trope, fake out with a bait.
I think Snugs and PB have it on. It's suspense, drama.
Okay, but it sucks. It wasn't good. It was sloppy, and I don't know. I maybe I'm being too harsh about it, and other people liked it. I think
you
can think it was poorly executed, but I think it's pretty standard.
Sure, yeah.
Especially from the time frame from the 90s. Like that's what they.
Cam, you and me have seen the entire series, and the thing about it is that, like I said before, pieces of the puzzle. And you and me know it was another situation that's coming, that's foreshadowing again to this point that we had with Talia. So basically, I would say add that in the back of your head at this moment, which we can't tell them yet. But I think that might answer your question. You're questioning this.
I can't say more.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. We got 16 people in. It says on my little thing here. It's people are jumping in. That's good to see. A lot of extra people in the chat coming in. Weatherman, Umbras, late arrivals. But that's okay. Good to see you, everyone. Yeah, awesome.
And good night.
And I just want to mention that there's a little bit of a poll in the on the YouTube there. And if anybody, if you in the chat can answer that poll, I'm just trying to collect some information about how you got watching the show. So. Maybe it'll be useful when we start on season 3.
And also
don't forget you can super chat now.
Super chat thing, yeah. You're trying to scoop me, but that's okay. I got the first super chat in. I got the record. I'm going to be known down in YouTube infamy for being the first super chatter on this.
Well, and this channel is the king of all media. Yeah, I kind of agree with PB there, Cam. I think I think it's a pretty obvious trope. I mean, it's pretty obvious for 90s TV.
I understand that, but okay, let's spend a sec. Let me ask you the question then. As I said, what we're told in the episode is that the sleeper agent doesn't even know what's going on yet. And then they're presenting this red herring for whatever reason you're saying it is, and I'm not disagreeing with Snugs and PB that this is something that is done in TV and stories. But then why is Ivanova in part of the presentation of the red herring talking about it as if she's consciously aware of something being hidden? That thing that is the red herring. Do you understand that within the story?
I completely understand.
Okay.
And we forgot to mention one thing.
And I totally agree. I'm you're right. Like I'm watching the show and Ivanova's going, "Oh, I got to tell you something and it's really this and that." She goes to Sheridan. I'm going, "Well, she's not going to say that she's the sleeper agent because the sleeper agent doesn't know who they are." Right? So I know they're playing it up that way, and it's not faking me out because they told us at the beginning the sleeper agent doesn't know. So how can it be Ivanova?
We've forgotten of the dream of Sheridan's dream.
I like to get to that later too.
It was a flashback of a dream, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was Sheridan remembering his dream.
Yeah.
Well, there was a couple of things that threw me off. It's like there was an implication, and we know that Susan and Talia had become over the course of 2 years friendly, and into friends.
Well, actually,
was there an implication in this episode that they might have been a little more than friends or something like that?
Absolutely.
Oh, you guys want to talk about that? That one scene there where
I
she
was
comes
like,
right up to her
are they gonna
face,
kiss? What the
and then
hell?
she moves in like she's gonna make out with her, and then they just cut and stop. And I'm like, Jesus, this is a '90s show. They can't have.
Are they trying to ship
girls
them
kissing?
already?
What's going on?
Okay, but
Oh.
let's start out with what Jeff said.
I almost dropped my. I'm like, what the hell? Are they
That's what
trying
I
to
said.
say?
I was like, go ahead, Cam.
Well, okay. Yes, you're on the right track, clearly. But you said, oh, their relationship developed. But again, in this episode, this is something that I dislike. Surprise, sorry, everybody. Is that it's like, oh, we're finally gotten over our problems and we're friends. I mean, Talia says something almost directly like that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so now you're rushing to throw the, maybe it was a storyline that was going to go somewhere better developed, but it's like, well, let's throw that in here too. We got to get that before she leaves. It just seems so rushed and weird. And
I can answer that.
Go ahead.
JMS thought it was kind of important to include it because he believed that humanity still had shared the problems in the 23rd century, but he thought by that time homosexuality would be seen no more than an aberration, someone being left or right-handed or having blue eyes or brown eyes. At that point, he didn't think that they've reached a level where okay, they're gay,
Okay, leave aside the whether it's gay or straight.
Yeah,
I'm saying that the relationship
they don't see it as
cold to, let's burn in
exactly.
fire.
Yeah, right. It went from cold to. Yeah, it's like, it's like, and Ivanova seems kind of confused by it as well. And then it's like, oh, I woke up and you were gone. Well, okay, that implies something, right? I mean,
well, remember the last episode that they were together, and that was back a bit. they shared a bottle of wine together.
Yeah, in a past episode.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I mean, I want to, there is a trope, not a TV trope, whatever, a stereotype that lesbians are quick to jump into relationships, like they just meet someone and 3 weeks later they're shutting down their life and moving to some foreign country to live. Like that's not
in here either, because it's not. I mean, the whole thing was strange because it's like, oh, you could stay at my place because you're having trouble with your thing, and it's like, oh, okay. So clearly,
you don't want to stay in brown, right? You don't want to stay in brown.
Okay.
Never mind that you're commander of the station and could probably get somebody to fix it now.
Okay,
right?
You're right, but there was
you don't want to throw your weight around like that.
There was a reason stated, and it's like, oh, okay, well, we're friends now. You could stay over at my place until your problem is done. It's like, okay, sure. And then then they go into this other territory in a rushed manner. I'm not saying it's not, they weren't kind of maybe setting that up, but it seems like everything was just like, oh, she's leaving the show, crunch it all in here,
and I gotta say that Ivanova wears like, I've been married for 20 years, and women don't wear sexy lingerie like that, like Ivanova's wearing if they're sleeping by themselves. That's when they wear their.
Hasn't Susan worn that same robe at other times?
Yes, and that's my point. Like, I mean, women wear like baggy stuff when they're sleeping by themselves. Like
they were both wearing robes. Though.
Exactly. Yeah. They're both dressed up like they're trying to impress somebody.
Yeah, but
I don't understand
the point where Talia came out of the shower and she's like, in the robe and everything, like, oh, it feels so good.
I haven't taken a water shower.
It was being played up.
Yeah,
pretty heavy.
It was being played up.
And it was playing up the relationship between them.
I literally rolled my eyes at that, and I'm like, seriously, they're trying to turn Susan into that? Come on.
Well, no, like I said, it's they put it to the point in the series that it's people don't think of the situations these days. We don't say something, obviously, but the thing about it is the way in the storyline itself, it's like, okay, we have a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I felt I thought the building up a relationship, I thought that was fine. I made the assumption that the writer Straczynski's he's just trying to titillate the audience a little bit.
Yep.
Let's put him in their lingerie.
I didn't like it.
Pretend it's going to be a kiss.
I didn't,
and then turn it away because we can't do that. It's the 90s. It's I looked at it as a a gimmick to try to.
This is tame compared
up or something.
Yeah, this is tame compared to his other series, which went a little bit overboard when it comes to the sexuality.
Sure, but the other trope though with lesbians is, so I'm told by lesbians, is that they get killed off. It's like, oh look, relationship, kill one of them off, right? This was the big
in these shows
thing in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where it
Willow,
where people lost their crap.
I don't
about
even remember
that.
the other girl,
Tara.
Tara,
But yeah, so Tara got killed off, right? Spoiler, sorry. 25-year-old show. And it's like, that was an outrage. How dare you? You're following the lesbian trope. It's of killing off, it's like, well, they did it here too. So it's like, oh, you're being a big progressive writer. Oops, you fell into yet another trope. It's like, because Talia wasn't physically killed off, but mentally she was.
Yeah. And honestly, neither one of them seemed like the type. Honestly, to be totally honest, the secret that I thought that when at the beginning of the show that Susan had was that she was really secretly hot for Sheridan.
Really?
I didn't. Yes,
that was like right at the beginning, and she's like, "I've got this secret that I blah blah blah," and I thought she was gonna say. She's always
been nothing but professional with him.
Right?
No way.
No way.
If that was there, I would have turned off the show.
Kick Jeff. Get him out of here. Get out of here.
Right. Let me just hear this.
No. Jeff.
How do we kick people out?
Ivanova knew Sheridan back in the day and knew of his wife.
They've been nothing but professional. She's shown no interest in him whatsoever. That would have been like, I would have been like, get out of here.
She was pining for him. Come on, who's with me? There's got to be somebody else out there.
Nobody.
Who was pining with.
Okay. Contrary to Jeff's crazy claim, I will say that I think that Talia and Ivanova was somewhat credible. It could have been credible. I think it was rushed.
I agree.
But I think if you look back and say, okay, well, where have they gone before this episode? It's like, well, yeah, could that have gone step 6, 7, and 8? Yeah,
to a lesbian relationship. Yeah, I actually thought that was credible. Now, in this episode, I think it was maybe a little early but you could have assumed that maybe they had more relationships. It seemed a little early. Yeah, we're best friends now. Let's make out. That seemed a little bit, but sometimes this happens quick. But Ivanova is a good candidate for being a lesbian. She's
how dare you stereotype?
She's in the military. You wouldn't.
She doesn't have short hair.
Yeah, well, that's
okay. Kiss your monetization goodbye. By the way,
you would, you would, in the military, you'd be surprised at how many. There's a lot of, it's disproportionately the number of women in the military are lesbians. Like it's pretty.
Yeah, unless you saw in the movie The Hidden, where she played a stripper.
Yeah, it is. So then, no, I mean the character, not the right. So I could see her, and then Talia, I don't really think so. But she never, Garibaldi was kind of hitting on her, and she didn't really go with that. But she kind of hates him anyway. So,
I don't think she hates him.
Well, she doesn't like him.
She doesn't like his.
He's hitting on her, and it didn't go anywhere.
Oh, you talking about him hitting on Talia? I think
Talia.
Susan hates him. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no. Garibaldi's not going to hit on Ivanova. Come on. That's
where do you guys? What level? Without getting explicit or anything, what do you think this episode was supposed to be portraying them in some sort of relationship by the end of it, or not? Or it was just kind of like, oh yeah, it's kind of moving that way, or is this like, yeah, they're
I'll take that first. I think Straczynski's like, oh, Talia's going to be off the show. Let's titillate the audience a little bit. It's science fiction. They're mostly males. Let's do a little bit of hint at something, a little bit, and then because we're not going to get, these two will never be on the show ever again together. So let's just let it go. And,
Yeah, maybe.
No, I
He's
think
playing
it's a little
to
bit. I think it's a little bit more than that. I think it's when you look to the perspective of Ivanova, the character. She was not an open character. She kept to herself very strongly, and she never really let
She didn't.
anybody in.
She was not emotional.
She kept things to herself.
Mhm.
She was not emotional to the point. But here's Talia, comes into her life, and then suddenly they're telling each other secrets. At this point,
Yeah, they like I said, they went from 0 to 60, and
Well,
or
see,
maybe 0 to
they
600.
also
and remember in the end, she says, "Oh, Talia was whispering things in your ear. I was telling her what to tell you."
See,
to that point.
that's kind of a backhanded slap too, isn't it? It's like, oh yeah, this relationship that you thought we had was really just me manipulating you.
that's to show how evil Talia is, how much of a switch she is. Like I think PB said, she went full Cohagen. I mean, it's a complete and utter different personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no coming from back from that. She's completely,
Well, Ivanova acted like she, her reaction after Talia got turned and she went to talk to her was such that, oh, I've experienced a loss kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not, I mean, obviously she was at a minimum a coworker and friendly with Talia. But it seemed like more than that. Her reaction was more than that.
Well, I mean, look, Ivanova is going to be fairly isolated from in the position. She's the number 2 at Babylon 5. It's everybody she sees works, in essence works for her, except for Sheridan. And she's going to have trouble making friends. So the fact that it makes sense for her to make friends with Talia, who's is a civilian, just like it's makes sense for Sheridan to sort of reach out to somebody like Delin, even though she's an ambassador of a foreign empire, which is kind of bad. But that's what's going to happen, right? Like Ivanova doesn't have a much choice of people who she can be friendly with and solve things. She can't really with her coworker. It's got to be a civilian.
You either need a peer, or you need
she has no peers,
totally
really.
not under your authority,
and she has no peers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. In my mind, this is yet
it was just shoved in there.
Yeah, this was not the greatest work, and maybe there's practical reasons for it, but it felt like it's like, oh crap, something's happening. We got to write an episode to deal with this stuff. Quick, now you had these other hanging things. Let's get it all.
We were going to throw this in, so we just shoved it in.
But I think that was a bad choice.
Hoodal's points here. Okay, sure. So Hoodal's point here. Read that over. Psychor would not approve of the relationship because between Ivanova and Talia, I think we're talking about, because Ivanova is a lowly, disposable, non-mateable, mundane, the arc where B5 would take it, and we're stuck. Yeah, I think he's talking about us. We're stuck on a critique by in real life moralities. B5 issue is telepath versus non-telepath versus telepath relationships. But I would assume that in this case, Psychor wouldn't care because they wouldn't be getting married or anything. This is like if there was a relationship between the two of them, it would be a fling. It wouldn't be they're not mateable. So
Psychor
they wouldn't care.
Wouldn't necessarily know about it anyway.
And they don't, and they'll bring her Talia to mate, with somebody when they want to, like they did with the guy who was her husband.
It would be a means to an end, really. It would be only for her to get close to the command.
Yeah,
I mean, so that's a plausible, like a tradition, basically a honeypot.
Yeah.
Well, Hoodal, no, I'm not stuck on that. I'm stuck on storytelling, and the means of the storytelling is what is not sitting well with me.
I understand what you're saying, Cam. I really truly do. And like I said, put this in the back of your head that there are foreshadowing something else.
This
on several different levels, not one level, several different.
This point here by PB, Madman or Cam, you want to answer that?
Well, they're the experts. He asked first-time viewers. That's you and me, so.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I meant I mean, did you first time you get the vibe that Italia was working a relationship on the station in this episode before her outed her? I mean, I didn't get that vibe before this episode. No.
No, me neither.
In this episode, though, Jeff, what do you think about this episode?
Yeah. They played it. I think it was almost heavy-handed. You know,
okay, so
the way it was.
Let me just let me throw something in here. Did the discussion about Lita between Susan and Talia talking about Lita, did that come in the mix here for you guys?
Well,
so
are you suggesting Talia and Lita had a thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Okay,
I'm just saying. Go ahead.
I'll say that first. I didn't. I disagree with Jeff. I didn't feel this way in the episode because I thought that. I mean, we've seen them getting closer. I made the assumption that maybe they've had some other close, discussions or breakfasts or whatever together that we saw them having in the beginning. Now the thing at. So I mean, it did seem a little bit. She comes in. Oh yeah, now we're best friends. There's a point. I think that's the point there with the kiss where she says that. And that was a little bit, oh, now we're best friends. But I kind of made the assumption again that there was stuff, maybe they'd met before. And, Ivanova needs a friend. Now
she doesn't have one.
The aspect of
hardened.
if I remember correctly, Ivanova started bringing up Lita first, right? So that didn't make me suspicious. Now I when she started talking about her, I was thinking to myself, Ivanova, should you be mentioning this to non-military people? Like, what if you shouldn't be talking this? It's a secret that she's on here. We know that Talia is a part of Psy-Corps. She's not a psychop, but maybe she could report back to them or something. I don't think you should be talking about this.
Well, she didn't mention that she was on the station, right?
Well, why would she bring her up?
She just randomly asked, "Did you ever know a Lita?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Well, yeah, we were in the Corps together. She was like a year behind me, and and
yeah." But okay, but how does? Let me ask you, Jeff. How does the personality of Talia, the hidden personality, get the idea to try to shoot Lita? Like somehow she has Ivanova is the one who basically tells, she's the one who almost gets Lita murdered because she's loose lips and she mentions, starts talking about this
sink ships and
she starts talking about her, and then next thing you know, someone, Talia's trying to murder her.
Well, that's another thing that doesn't work well.
It's a little bit fuzzy.
They didn't show that it was Talia that tried. The
glove was her glove,
but it's implied later on.
The glove was her glove. I watched
gloves.
It.
You're absolutely right.
I want to put into this. I'm going to put into this perspective, and I was waiting for this point. It still could have been Ivanova, and I'll tell you why. The Talia's subconsciousness, what's Talia now, could have had the power to manipulate her in the mind and set her on it. Because remember, we did not see Talia leave the bed. She was in bed at the time Lita was shot, according to the way the scene. According to the way the scenes went. No, but I'm saying, according to the timeline doesn't work well. But when you look at the way it was seen, you saw Talia in bed. Ivanova was missing.
I didn't expect them to be in the bed.
Talia could have left.
I thought she was sleeping on the couch.
You're right. Talia could have left. But the thing about it is,
Ivanova's gone.
Why did JMS put to the point that Ivanova wasn't in the bed, and then later on you see right there that of the shot. Remember, telepaths can manipulate the mind of other people to make things. Exactly what Stoner, the ability that Stoner had. That was the name of the character that used to be Talia's husband. He had the ability to manipulate people to do things what he wanted them to do.
Okay, but who's the person on the station least likely to be manipulated by a telepath that we know by the end of this episode? Ivanova
would have been
because she can block, scan. She knows when people are trying to mess with her.
Can't she block?
Yes, but she was open to Talia at this point. She trusted Talia. That's the thing. Perhaps. You look to the perspective. Go back to episode 1 when they first met. She was very arrogant against Talia because she was Psycorp. She says, "I got 100 things, and they're all more important." The way it's saying. And then you look at now when the other episode, they're sharing a bottle of wine together. Then they're all buddy. Oh, come stay at my place. Don't worry about it. To that. I
was kind of like, what? When did they get? When did they become this friendly?
Like I said,
them over.
How does Talia know she even needs to, kill Lita?
Because technically, we do not see that it's Lita. I mean, not Lita, Talia or Ivanova. We do not see that. It's not put. We at the end we know that
the shooter
it's
is wearing
Talia.
gloves.
That's all we see is the gloves.
The gloves. There was the gloves.
That's all we see is the gloves.
Yeah.
And Ivanova's never worn gloves.
Right.
No, she hasn't, but could be possibility, to one point, and you could put to this perspective.
Well,
however you want
that was
think
all
it.
part of the red herring, right?
Right.
I mean,
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a red herring, but you got to put to the perspective. He emphasizes she was in bed at the time that Lita was shot.
Well,
we don't know how much time. We don't know how much time.
Yeah, I didn't take that.
You're right. They certainly implied that, though. I mean, that's what the episode was trying to make you think.
I'm assuming that Ivanova's out taking a stroll, getting quote fresh air. Talia wakes up. Oh, hey, now's a good time for me to sneak out and shoot people. She goes off, shoots her, and
the other persona.
How did you know when they were moving?
I don't know.
That's
a little bit.
I mean, but another plot hole. Other persona only works when Talia's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
It works when she's asleep.
There's a lot of holes. Yeah.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
No, Madman. They explained that. They said it only works when she sleeps. However, Lita says that it might come out somehow to protect itself, right?
That's correct.
It wouldn't just protect itself when it's sleeping. It would be able to, that's how come that she's able to shoot.
I take that to mean she can't act directly except for when Talia's asleep. But she said specifically that she's always whispering in Talia's ear. She's nudging Talia all the time. To do what the programmed personality wants.
Yeah. I made the assumption that she could, in times of emergency, she could sort of come up to the surface somehow to, protect the personality. But
the self-preservation was part of the programming. So she would self-preserve, but the point that you just made about whispering in the ear. It was not. And Stobbit said this earlier. I think I perceived that as she was whispering in Talia's ear what to do. Basically, she was kind of hinting to Talia's consciousness what she should be doing or thinking, or what kind of things that she should be doing. Not that Talia was whispering into Susan's ear.
I took that the same way as you did. Yeah, Talia's personality too is whispering with Talia, hey,
evil Talia was telling Talia what to do.
Yeah, be nice to Ivanova. She's not so bad. Be nice to her.
Yeah, she was positioning. It wasn't like she necessarily.
Maybe we can get some info from her later.
And as they pointed out, it almost says that she almost stumbled into, the whole thing, right? I mean, that at the beginning of the episode with Sheridan and Garibaldi, they were about to bring her in on the whole conspiracy.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I thought before this episode, when they started the conspiracy, I'm like, hey, I'm thinking to myself, hey, you should bring Talia in right away. How come you're waiting so long?
She was already part of the Underground Railroad cover-up and all that stuff,
she looked had a disgusted look on her face with the whole Night Watch group. I mean, she'd be perfect. Bring her in. Plus, I mean, they don't know this, but plus she's like a super telepath now because of Ironheart's abilities given to her. She could be a great asset.
Yeah.
Good thing they didn't listen to me. Jeez.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Next time I'm running a revolution, I'll just double check myself. I'll look. Maybe we'll wait a little bit before we bring that guy in.
See you at the party, Richter.
So okay, so there's another similar point, but with Susan, and I know they talked about it, but I wanted to hear your guys' opinion. She mentioned, she tells Sheridan her history about, why she's a latent telepath and everything, and how she could, when she wanted to, block her mother reading her mind and such. Mm-hmm. And then, we find out when Lita was trying to send the code into her head that she was blocking her there. And then, she also mentions about, staying one step ahead of psych horror and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, and Snob, you mentioned, they know this is hereditary. So they know Susan's mother is a telepath.
Right.
And I think there was some mention that, they somehow sabotage that. But I'm not sure I find it credible that psych horror says, we have a telepath here. Here's her daughter. Well, let's test her. Let's find out. And if she is a untrained, low-level telepath, I mean, I guess if it's like, any level of telepath can very effectively block out high-level telepaths. Is that what the situation is?
No. Remember that Ivanova had said that her mother trained her to hide her latent abilities.
Yes, right. What I'm saying is, if her ability is so low, though, and we know that Psychor is like a dog after a bone. They don't let these people go, right? Yeah. And they have a target painted on Ivanova that they're just like, yeah, sure, that worked. And you see what I'm saying? It's like, what level of training? I mean, her mother wasn't trained either. What level of?
Well, her mother could have been trained, but
the thing is, if you're latent telepath and you haven't even come into fruition, Psychor will take you in to train you. So you could be at Ivanova's level when she was a child, and if they found out that she did have the abilities, they would have taken her and put her in the core.
Absolutely, and meaning they will hunt you down to do that. In fact, right? Even if you're low level, they don't want any telepaths running around out there, and that's why her mother was,
drugged
and everything. And so I'm saying that you had, bright arrows pointing to Ivanova saying, check this, test her, find out about her. And somehow they evaded it. It doesn't seem credible to me.
Plus her mother's a non-believer. So they're going to even just keep an even closer eye on her because she's, potentially a rebel.
And you guys realize that you're just proving why I said she could have been, and that I suspected that she early on
from before, you're saying,
because that's exactly what the logic that I was going. I'm like, she would have been tested too. Her mother, if her mother was it, and she taught her how to block it, well, that could have all been planted memories.
Well, I mean? But also they know, like Lita knew she was blocking her. It's not like, are you telling me a child that has no formal training from someone who also doesn't have formal training is going to be able to fool a trained psychop or something, or at least a higher level,
somebody of a P10, right?
Right. And that they're not even going to be able to detect that she's blocking her. Like when Bester was blocked by Talia, he was like, there's something wrong there. Right. Even though Talia has superpowers of some sort that aren't completely specified, but like what I'm saying is it just doesn't strike me as credible. It's too much of a stretch.
Well, remember the other episodes with the situation that were, Bester was going after the telepaths, and the telepaths were blocking Bester. What were they doing?
Well, they
were running nursery rhymes. Mary had a little lamb.
They were keeping them in their mind so that was all that was being picked up.
Exactly. Yeah, but they also died because of it, right? They basically, it was so much that he pushed through. I
think Cam is pulling another plot hole out there, right? That's all. That's all you're saying, right?
Yeah, I'm saying it's not credible.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little fishy.
We will have to bring this back up at season 3 and season 4.
And speaking of that, whenever we're talking about this, when Cam's ever asking us, Jeff, I don't know if you feel this as well. Whenever Cam's asking us questions, I always think he's trying to lead us somewhere.
Is he leading us down a path?
Well,
he's
dropping
breadcrumbs,
or he's either leading us down the path or a fake path or something, or he's just
rarely might I do that. I don't intentionally try to mislead anybody, but I might be asking.
I'm not sure. I can't
might
tell.
be asking you something on the basis of the episode we're talking about, not future knowledge, right?
No,
I'm
Exactly.
analyzing this episode
I
based
get that
on what we
impression a
see.
lot. No, that's totally
You
what
can
you're asking me something,
compartmentalize,
but
right, Cam?
yeah, he's compartmentalizing big time. I get
I'm
that
sorry.
impression.
I'm sorry if
We
I've
say
offended you.
compartmentalizing.
You can do that. I just think it's funny because I'm like, listen to this question. I'm like, I know he knows the answer to this because he's seen the show. Why is he asking a question like that?
Or maybe I'm really dumb and I don't remember any of this stuff.
Maybe.
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 Sometimes when you go back and look at the episodes, in fact, tomorrow my episode of Taco Thursday is exactly what we're talking like now. That you look at a episode of a show or a movie, something like that, and after about 20, 30 years, you go back and look at it, and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't. Wait a minute, and you think several times, and sometimes things might change your opinion to how something went,
Well,
which it does happen.
Well, not only that, but I don't know about you guys. I do know about you guys, but I mean, I was in my early 20s when this show came out. So if I had seen it, watching it, and I had watched it again now that I'm in my 50s, I mean, I'm going to have a lot more life experience, and I might go pick up on a lot of different things than I would have then. So
Yeah,
I
but
could
see the
certainly
difference
see
is,
that
but
being
see the
the case,
difference
too.
is now we didn't have streaming back then. The only thing you could have done was maybe recorded it on VHS and then played it back a couple of times to that point. And
I would have done that. Yeah,
the
I
DVD didn't
recorded
come out
everything
till
back
like
then.
toward the end of the series. So
No, but I mean, I recorded all my. I recorded Star Trek: Next Generation.
right.
So because if I missed an episode, I had to go watch it. So it would have been the type of thing that I would have recorded.
I'm also reading the chat, and Snugs is always spoiling everything. One of us too old to begin the training. Yeah.
No, then we'll take no. Psychor will take you at whatever age you are, and they will still because they want
whenever
to
it
know.
comes out.
Stunks is making a joke. He's referring to Star Wars.
I know,
right?
I know.
Mhm.
Yoda.
But just in case if anybody else was picking up, says, why would he say that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, good. Okay, we we didn't follow any plan with this episode. We just went all over the place.
Why do you think it's called Divided Loyalties?
I've got a couple of little questions. I'm curious as to what people think. We haven't touched on yet. Cam, do you want to hit anything else?
Well, I mean, we didn't really talk about the Sheridan and Delenn thing. It's clearly they're pushing forward.
There's
the
a relationship building there. Yeah, a couple of times I wrote down.
Little bit
She's
of a hand
touching her
touching.
hand. She's touching his hand.
No, there's one thing. What was the name of the newspaper?
Yeah.
There was a couple.
Universe Today.
Universe Today, and it was the logo of USA Today.
Yeah. Somebody.
I like how they recycle the papers. And it just goes to Flash, and then a new episode or a new issue pops down. It was probably the same paper. But
did you notice that it took Sheridan a long time to get to the point where he could recycle it, and then it asked him to do it, and Delenn just threw it in there without being asked to do it.
Yeah. And what was it? Ion Minbari. The Ion Minbari section was unavailable to insert, which is an interesting question. Why was the Ion Minbari section unable to be inserted into the paper for her? Because clearly, you can in the future when you get your printed media, you can request what sections you want to actually be printed on the paper.
That makes sense. I found an interesting little tidbit about Minbari culture that they don't have any journalists or reporters at all. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, they don't have a free press. So
yeah, they don't have a press at all.
But she did point out that she learns a lot of information about her own homeworld, and certainly the perspectives that she.
Now, why would she want that?
What to know about what's going on?
Maybe she's not getting the whole truth, or
yeah, of course.
Does that mean we have reporters?
Didn't we have an episode with the media?
We did. We've had a couple.
Yeah, that's why they're referring to this. Yeah.
Yeah, that basically when she was in that interview and she couldn't answer certain things, and she became very emotional. And then some of the things that her people had said when she changed into this new type of a Minbari also.
Yeah.
She's changing. Yeah, for sure. All right. Sorry, Cam, did you want to?
Burgeoning relationship. Come on,
Anything
let's
else?
talk about that.
I don't think we can, but I kind of it's all right. They're pushing this relationship between the two of them. My view on it, they're pushing it. This is just another thing. Eventually, we're going to get there. It seems kind of boring until we get there, but we can talk about it if you want. If
She acted like a giddy little schoolgirl when she left.
I was going to mention that she kind of like skips away almost.
She did.
Yeah, she skipped.
You know what?
I kind of half expected her to run into the aliens that just had walked out.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. The same thing happened last episode. She acted like a giddy schoolgirl when they.
Okay, I don't mind. I don't mind that too much because the whole thing with her transformation into being partially human, we don't know how those things would manifest. So I can accept that as plausible.
She's romantically immature.
Yeah, I mean,
acting like a 16-year-old girl in her first crush.
Probably.
Yeah,
I can buy that too.
So I think that's okay. And I do like that they're kind of playing this out. I mean, it's been going over the whole season, really. I mean, when she showed up as a part human, Sheridan was like, "Hey, And
I didn't know Minbari had hair. Wow, she's a babe."
Right, and it's
pretty
been
good with that bald hair, baby.
Yeah, and it's been kind of going on, so I don't have a problem with it.
No, I don't have a problem with it either. The reason I want to talk about it is because I think we've, it's pretty obvious we discussed it, and it's like, all right, I just got to wait for them to get through these, giddy schoolgirl moments. I get it.
And then Sheridan, every
get
time,
on to it, get going. That's my feeling.
Every time I think everything is going great in the galaxy, something comes up and reality smacks me down. And she's like, "Oh, it's okay," and she puts her hand
your problems.
But
I can't tell you my problems. You're the ambassador to an enemy, a foreign state. I can't tell you state secrets, military.
Yeah, but the whole thing with the dialogue when she goes, "But," on your butt,
motor butt.
I like what she said. I don't like the sound of that.
and you know what my mind went to?
No. Do we want to know?
Do we want to know? Yeah, that's my question.
Well, it begins with motor and it ends with
Oh.
Yeah. I don't like that. I think that's kind of what the implication was too. Motor butt and yeah.
What I don't know that we. I mean,
she does a good job with the character. I'll say that. I think she's
I think she's much happier in her role now as she is. As we see her now, I think the actress is it comes across more. She likes this character as she is the way she is now, whereas before she was very kind of stoic and aloof and it actually helps the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you see that transformation. I don't. Maybe she's a great actress. Just because of that.
Yeah, the actor would be like probably more into portraying this character. Hey, you try to play this half character between this and that, right? It'd be a bit more of a challenge. So she probably would appreciate that.
But I like her. I like that relationship. That one's more
to get on with it
because we've seen a lot of it. And I'm sure they're going to drag it on. It's going to.
I'm just ready to. I get it. I'm ready for them to get to the next level of it. That's all. That's my only. Yeah. I don't have a trouble with it. That's my only thing. I'm like, all right, more of this.
Well, they do that in every television show.
Yeah, of course.
Did you ever watch Bones? I mean, come on. Well, how long did they drag that one? Or Castle?
And I would be complaining if they didn't drag it out long enough, because then it would be too short, right? Like we just discussed.
And then once you hit that, then it's kind of like, oh, okay, we hit there, that type of thing. So
are we going to go over the elephant in the room?
What's that?
Kosh
and Lita.
Go for it.
That was one of my questions.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and ask your questions, and we'll.
Ask my questions. All right. Well, you want to do this? This one's not related to that. Well, let me do this one first. But it is leader related. So first, she says here, and I know some of us know the answer to this question, but I don't. B5 is more important than you could possibly know. She says that to Sheridan and a whole lot of them. More important than they could possibly know. Like, that's pretty big. Like, I'm pretty sure that Sheridan and the whole staff think that B5 is pretty important. Like, I'd be like, it's at least, I would say, okay, well, if you're a human next to Earth, B5 is probably the next most important place.
I think
But
Lita doesn't.
it's more important than they could possibly know.
Remember, Lita's running with the Mars Resistance.
Right. Well, Lita also doesn't know that Sheridan and Garibaldi and Susan Ivanova are part of this group, whatever you want to call it. I think you keep on calling it the French Resistance, but I don't think she's aware that they are part of that.
True. Good point. But she still says no more possible than you could even know. Right? That's pretty big. So I'm just kind of, I don't know the answer. I'm just kind of curious about that. Like, she's really saying.
Well, she may have picked up some things from Kosh too, and that's kind of that's kind of
my point.
Yeah, because
it's not only that. It's basically
what does she know from Kosh?
Since she escaped from the Psi Corps, Psi Corps has their rules when it comes to telepaths. She has probably violated all the rules, so she basically, working with the Resistance, she may have melded also with other people for information to that point, and she's gathered some information that she's hearing things there. Remember, there are a lot of things going on toward Earth, near Earth, Mars, Io, at the colonies. So with the whole situation with the president and everything like that, and what's coming forward, now you got Night Watch on Babylon 5. What is their task on Babylon 5 that they're there? Why were they put there?
Yeah, who is the leader there of Night Watch?
Well, we know why. Night Watch is a spy group.
Yeah. It's we know what they're supposed to be. But I think Kosh knows the importance of Babylon 5, and maybe Lita did pick up. Right, that's exactly why he's there.
That's it.
And I think that information had been divulged to Delenn. I think Delenn is aware of it too. As far as are the rest, I just don't think that at the time, of course, Sinclair and the rest of the crew were not a party to that information, so maybe she's still going on that old information, not being aware that there is this little hidden cabal of resistance that is trying to save humanity and the galaxy at large.
Well, you have to remember, there's a lot of unrest that's going on right now in the galaxy. Now you have the Narn Centauri civil war that's going on right now. You have the League of Non-Aligned Worlds is basically shattered in a way because of all the things that are going on. Earth is going through this whole situation where they're trying to protect themselves in a way. Mars is trying to
Io,
Mars and Io are trying to relieve themselves from Earth itself. They're trying, because that's where you have the resistance that's going on, and everything in between, and then you have the Psi Corps in between this whole situation.
So there's a lot of moving pieces now, and
I bring that up point because it's obvious she must, like, to me that's like, oh, she knows more than she's talking about, and it's probably about Kosh because she was in his mind.
That's probably where she's coming from, is Kosh. Because Kosh, she got the feeling from Kosh. I did find it kind of interesting that she talked about Kosh singing her to sleep, or comforting her when she goes to that little box in her mind that she keeps hidden away, in the back recesses of her mind.
You're jumping the gun. You're getting to the end of the.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. She also says she can't put the feeling into words, right? Like what she like. I mean, I when she said this, I was like, "What? You can't explain what the feeling that Kosh. You must have something. Like, we know that Kosh is they're these ancient aliens. So there were, there must be I'm like, you can't put the feeling into words. Like, is it a sense of forbidding doom because the bad guys are coming, or is it a sense of wonderment that don't worry, we'll be able to beat the bad guy aliens, something like that. I'm like, you can't put it into words at all. Like, that just seemed real suspicious to me right off the bat.
Yeah, it was kind of it was an awkward line.
You could some kind of words, surely.
Look, I can't quite explain it, but it's sort of like blah, that type of thing. Yeah, that was a quirky line. It didn't work for me either, but I forgave it because the whole there were so many other things going on at the same time that it just kind of like, yeah, okay, it was kind of a throwaway line. I can't express it. Words can't express it. That type of thing.
Yeah. All right. What about okay, so Sheridan remembers his little vision when he's talking, when Ivanova's telling him that she's a telepath. He remembers the vision. He sees Ivanova with the raven or crow on her shoulder, and she says, "Do you know who I am?" And I was like, "What?"
And that goes back to the "Who are you?" Not what do you want, but who are you?
I was like, I'm not sure what was going on there. I'm like, what?
That's what I thought of, is that obviously it was a play on the "Who are you?" because do you know who I am? Well, who are you? And maybe there's more to Susan, is the kind of the implication I got. Maybe there's more to Susan than we know. Or at least at this point in the series, maybe they're supposed to be, in the future. We don't know what the future holds for Susan, but
yeah, the chat's on fire with their obscure references.
That series. Oh,
some of them not so obscure, some obscure. What else? Oh, here's another question that we didn't get answered before we get to Lita, the final scene. Garibaldi goes, "Hey, I gotta go off and let me check something," and it goes off, and we don't hear anything about that.
Right? Yeah, that's the Deathwalker, the situation with Deathwalker. That Talia was meeting up with that character that recorded her mind and gave it to Tosh.
It's not
Vicar.
The Vicar. Thank you, the Vicar.
He remembers that, but like he goes, like, I gotta go check something out, and what?
Well, we don't need to have the answer in this episode.
We don't get the answer.
Let me ask you this though, because that's
what I wanted to mention.
I got the feeling, and this is again, this is coming from I haven't seen the rest of the series yet. This is literally the last episode I've seen so far. Did Kosh get maybe some sort of imprint of Talia, the real Talia, at some point that might be able to be restored? And I'm surprised that they didn't try to take Talia to Kosh to try to see if Kosh could do something about it. Okay.
No, because his words were reflections for later.
Well, right.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that.
I mean, it was nebulous. It was a nebulous.
Well, what Jeff's saying is an interesting theory, right? It's like, well, what's the guy? He's a recorder, and he was recording Talia for things that didn't seem to make any sense to anybody, right?
Yeah.
So,
including her,
and he was giving them to Kosh, right? They were,
well, Kosh,
and they were like emotions and stuff, basically.
And what if at some point Kosh had the ability to restore Talia back to the real Talia, get rid of evil Talia and restore her true consciousness, her true who she really was before her program.
That's interesting. What I got,
but now we know she's off the show, so that's not going to happen, right?
What I saw of it from this was that it seemed, again, my view is this is a rather sloppy episode, and so I was thinking it's like, oh, they just kind of grab that and to kind of say, oh yeah, see, Kosh knew something was wrong with Talia. That's how it came across to me in this episode.
I wasn't sure what they were doing with that. I kind of just sort of said,
Interesting.
Okay, and then the final one, of course, is Lita and her meeting of Kosh. Mm-hmm. So she talks to Kosh. She basically says she does know, like she can put it into words, but she's basically lied to us. She's able to, but she's just filed it away, and in the corner of her mind, I'll never get there. She'll die first. She wants to be with the Vorlons.
Yeah, well, she does tell the other people that. She does talk about, I was trying to go to Vorlon space and I'll get there.
Yeah.
So she kind of, it's weird. She kind of reveals that part of it, but then.
Yeah.
And she says she knows she knows she'll get there and that they'll allow her in.
Maybe that was her covering for herself a little bit if they were somehow able to track her down.
I kind of believe that. I assume that she'd been changed by, the Vorlons are ancient. There's somehow her mind, by touching his, she's been changed.
I think that's clearly what is
come to a more, enlightened sense of something.
Enlightened is a great word.
She doesn't want to be with the dirty humans anymore, so to speak, because they're all.
Well, right? Remember, every expedition from every world that has gone to Vorlon space has never returned.
Right.
Yeah. Even Earth.
And we've not, and that's not because
doesn't mean they're dead.
Dead. Maybe they go to Vorlon space and they go, hey, this is like paradise. I'm staying here, or they don't want to, There's been tons of science fiction.
Vorlons are like, look, you can come in, but you can never leave. It's Hotel Vorlononia.
Yeah. There's tons of science fiction stories that go through that trope where you've become enlightened and you don't, you're like, I cannot deal with you humans anymore with your petty squabbles. I just, it's very difficult for me.
That's why Kosh only answers in one word.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we went through this in Stargate with Daniel Jackson when he ascended, and he still felt his kinship to humanity, and so they allowed him to return, but he lost basically all of his memories of the ascension, of anything that happened while he was ascended. That was the penalty for becoming back. So I could see her kind of being in a similar type of position where, look, once you've gone into Vorlon space, I could see people, once you've gone into Vorlon space and you may you may ascend, or you may, it may be that situation where you just too much and you've got to break your ties,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and in terms of storytelling, whatever she says to the rest of the people and the way that we're seeing that, we don't know if she's telling the truth or not. In the final scene, it's just her and Kosh, and we're seeing it from an omniscient point of view. Yeah. So there's no expectation that there would be any lies there, right? Or any deception. We're just observers outside of the show seeing that. So
we're just about to wrap up, Vicky.
Yeah, and Kosh does.
And he opens up. He opens up.
He opens
literally.
Let me see you one more time before.
He's a flasher.
He's a flasher.
Pervert.
Yeah. Did you catch the flapping, the wing flapping sound?
I didn't catch it.
I caught it. I heard.
I was waiting for you guys.
Didn't notice that. Mm.
I know.
There is sort of a flapping.
I thought it was a hiss, sort of, when
it was
the machine, the head coming off or whatever. But I'm
not
saying you're wrong.
It sounded like wings or something. I'm getting that. And remember, I mentioned this before. Good versus evil. Angels and demons. That's the feeling that sound effect gave me. Is like wings. This is like an angelic, and if they would know who he was. If they saw his true self, then
this is the second time Jeff has mentioned that. But every time this happens, I never hear the wings.
Am I hearing shit or what?
Jeff's just stuck in.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that I should pay more attention. Really.
No, it's very light in the background. That's probably why you don't pick it up. I mean, literally, when they put the sound in, it's just you hear.
It's like an unfurling of wings and kind of a flap. And that's all. And it's like
after this, I'm going back to listen.
Yeah, you tell me. I want to know if you
I'm
can
not
hear
saying
it.
you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I've never noticed it, but that's just.
But
maybe I'm not paying attention enough.
I've postulated this before that, thousands of years ago, and millions of years ago, whatever. Maybe these were the angels and demons. Maybe that's where he's going with this.
Oh, for
the
sure.
Shadows,
That's
the
a very
demon, and
it's a
the
very big
Vorlons.
trope in stories.
Yeah. So
that's where we get angels and demons, where they really were aliens fighting over, advanced beings. Yeah, whatever. It could, very well.
Yeah,
it would fit.
Yeah, and I've long had this theory that that humanity's concept or perception couldn't conceive of things, and that's why at any rate, I don't want to get on a religious trope, but but that's where I could foresee that's why humanity would just call them angels and would call the others demons, and there was a battle of angels and demons in the beginning, and
yep, would fit.
So.
Just remind everybody, if you could complete, if you haven't voted in the poll,
hit the poll.
Vote in the poll, because I'm curious to see, I'm starting to think about next season.
Weatherman's telling me to turn down my TV.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going deaf. I've been to too many concerts, I guess. I don't know.
All right. We're hitting the 2 hour and 5 mark. I like to keep it under 2 hours, but this one was we had a lot to talk about. There was a lot.
Good conversation.
So I didn't mind if we go over, but I think we should, unless there's anything that we're missing, I think we should sort of sum it up. 2 hours is getting long. Anybody have anything else before we go to final thoughts?
Teeps and teaks. That was one thing that I found interesting. When Susan was banging the cabinets, and then when she had asked about
I'm sorry.
What? that's their slang terms, right? That's the Psychor slang terms for the teeps being the telepaths and the teaks being the telekinetics.
No, it's what you said about the cabinets.
Oh, she was banging the cabinets. Well, sorry. She was slamming cabinet drawers and doors, and she wasn't doing anything untoward with the cabinetry. Anyway, I found that kind of found that amusing. She was just trying to be mad, and of
that's
course
our Ivanova.
And of course Talia is like, oh, what's wrong, and he said, well, do you know anything about blah blah blah, and it was like, oh yeah, then she goes into the whole story, and she's like, yeah, the teeps and the teaks, well, that's what we called them, the teaks of the telekinetic.
Well, how many teaks would there be?
And that's the other question, because technically Talia is a teak. We saw her use it. She was a teep, but now she's a teak.
Well, she's a little of both.
That was part of the gift.
Well, it's part of the gift. You have to remember, Iron Horse evolved. That's what the whole situation is. That he evolved to the next level of existence,
right.
And basically, he had both parts of it too. So basically, he just infused part of him into Talia.
Now the question is did Iron Horse evolve to the level of something akin to what someone like the Vorlons are?
We don't know.
Or yeah, well, I know. It's an open-ended question,
We don't know.
Yeah, and obviously Talia did not. She evolved, but she didn't evolve to that level. She's at least a P10 now, I think.
All right. Ready to go on to final thoughts?
Yeah.
All right. Madman, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I give it 8.5 out of 10, and for the reason is, this episode is very important. After this, it's only 3 episodes left. Some of the characterizations and parts of this is going to continue on. What we've seen in this episode is just the beginning of the end of season 2, and what what is to come is we have to wait for each of the next 3 episodes for it to unfold of the situation, because this is where the strongest point of season 2 is going to become from this point on, leading into season 3. So I think it was a very important episode, and they see the whole thing reintroducing Lita Alexander into the fold once again, and knowing that what she knows, or what we hope she knows about Kosh and all that, and that's probably going to lead into something later on in the series.
All right. Jeff.
Oh man. So I think I'll show my face for this one. This was a great episode, an excellent episode. There was a couple of things that were forced. Clearly, I got to shoot. Great show. Okay, I love we're getting commentary from it. I think overall this was an excellent episode. Way better than the last one. I was very disappointed with the last one. This one just totally blew that one away. But there were a couple of loose ends that Cam helped convince me to maybe lower the score a little bit on. But overall, yeah, definitely. I think that there were some things that just didn't need to be in there. This forced pseudo relationship just kind of didn't make sense. It was definitely overly accelerated. I did like the continuation of the building of the relationship between Delin and the captain. I was gonna give it a 9, but I think I'm gonna have to go with an 8.5. Because there were some things that just kind of threw me off a couple of times. Like I said, the relationship between Talia and Susan just didn't make sense, and there was in some of the little plot holes there, kind of bugged me. But overall, 8.5. I'm going to stick with that. I think that's a good number.
Cam.
Well, I've stated my objections throughout, so I don't need to rehash it. But I think this is one of the shakier episodes. I didn't really enjoy it per se. I'm going to say maybe 6.5. I didn't, not great. Hey, look, Dean said 6.5 too. All right, good company.
Okay, well, I was, thinking of giving it around an 8, but then Cam, mentioned more of the plot holes.
I wrecked it.
I didn't see, and it ruined it for me. So I'm around a 7. It's a good. I kind of like it because of the, it's pushing the plot big forward. I like the, the conspiracy aspects to it, that kind of thing. I kind of like those stories better. But there are some, pretty huge plot holes, and it's obvious they're scrambling a little bit to, fix things up. But, I still, overall, I still go with a 7 overall. That's how I enjoyed it. Cam didn't really ruin it for me. I just said it's a joke. But it's about a 7 for me. All right. Good. Okay. Trivia questions for next episode. Let's finish off the show. So I hope everyone appreciates this picture here. So trivia questions for next episode. Oh, spelling error. What is the name of the special section that Delin has added to her newspaper? Where is the Psy-Core Research Center? What is Control? Who does Lita contact for help after escaping? And who visits Kosh at the end of the episode? All right. So those are the questions. These will be answered all next episode on the show. Yeah. And I'm going to end off the poll. Last chance. I'll end off the poll right now. So if anybody wants to answer that question, it's the little information I'm trying to get next year.
Super chats. We got super chats.
And super chats are put in there. All right. Let's Madman.
Next week we got well, tomorrow my show Tackle Thursday, we're going to be talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion. There was a article written out that like slammed it and says it's not a masterpiece as they said. It's disgusting and vile. And I go through it through the article itself. It's an interesting article written on Screen Rant by someone that really doesn't understand anime.
All right.
Like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worse. But also, just the point. Next week's episode is a strong episode. Next week, you guys got a real good one coming on there. And a return of another character to Babylon 5.
Yeah. Can't wait for that.
Double home week.
Man.
Yep. But it's basically this one. It's the darkness is unfolding now. This is, I could say this at this point where we're at now. The darkness is beginning to unfold in this storyline itself.
Am I gonna hear bat wings unfurling next? Spoiler.
PB, are you saying 2 of the trivia questions lead to huge spoilers? Is that what you're saying? Interesting.
Possibly.
Right.
I mean, we have three good episodes coming up: Long Twilight Struggle, Come the Inquisitor, and The Fall of Night. And those are the season enders.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking forward to them.
Yes.
Are you next? Or did I do Jeff yet?
You didn't do me.
Jeff, sorry. Go.
All right. Well, coming up, I still got a couple of videos to put on my Tennessee Tabletop Tavern channel. However, I have a couple of guests confirmed for a special show coming up on Sci-Fi for Me TV. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that, especially if you're into tabletop and conventions. Tentatively, we're looking at November 1st, so pay attention. I'm sure I'll probably mention it next week once everything is solidified. But I think it'll be a great episode. It's going to be a special episode too. So I think it's going to be on a Saturday. So I'm going to get Jason up and do stuff on Saturday. Imagine that. So,
awesome.
So be conscious of that. Sci-Fi for Me TV.
No more sleeping in.
I know.
All right. Cam. Oh, sorry. Are you finished?
I was going to say it's going to be in the late. It'll be afternoon, early evening Eastern time. So.
All right. So the polls ended. 60% of you have seen all of the B5 episodes, B5 seasons. 33% say they're watching along with the show. Well, that's interesting. And 7% say you're not watching at all. You just watch this show. I don't give a crap about Babylon 5. I just come to hear
you guys are cheating.
What is 7% of 15?
I don't know.
One? One vote?
All right. Go ahead, Cam.
Nothing except for Top Lofty Lounge on Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern. And this week we will be discussing, unless Snob changes it on me again,
I'm not planning on changing it.
Pulp science fiction.
Pulp science fiction, yes. We're doing it. Let's do it. All right. So next week on this show, we have, of course, as Madman has mentioned, The Long Twilight Struggle, episode 20. That's what we're going to look at. And Dean, who I think is already taken off, but Dean is going to be the guest panelist for that show. So, yeah.
Why does it say?
Tune in for that. He's going to be here classing up the place.
Why does it say Point of No Return?
That's the name of the entire season.
Oh,
yes. This.
Season 3. Oh, okay.
Season 3 is the Point of No Return.
Jeff. Duh.
This is the Coming of Shadows. Season 3 is the Point of No Return. Yeah.
When do we
take that what you will?
Yeah,
and again, next week, next Wednesday, we're going to release Madman's very excellent promo. We're going to release it on the show live, and then I will, of course, release it on the YouTube channel as well. and you can enjoy that. It's pretty good.
Wait, is that Lita in that picture?
No.
Quiet, you.
Hush.
No talking. Mute him.
She sure looks like. Oh, wait.
Of course it is.
Hush, child.
Quiet,
Drink,
you.
drink your Yuling.
I don't know who the hairy guy is at the bottom. I never
Quiet.
seen him before.
And for those of you who want to be on the show as a guest panelist, as Madman is, as Dean has been, as Ed Post Nerd has been, as Michael have been, I have all the episodes written up for season 3. We are good to go. If you want to contact me through email or on the Discord, send me a note and say, "Hey, I like this this episode. I like to be on the show, and I like to talk about it with you guys." Just drop me a line. So that's open now. First come, first serve, within reason. And if you put in, I want to do all the shows up, that's not going to be good.
No. We got to mix it up a little bit.
Mix it up a little bit.
You already got to deal with a couple of us on a regular basis.
Hard enough already. Feel free. The only requirement is that, of course, you have to have a mic and you have to be able to talk. You don't have to show your face. Nothing. I mean, and I'm pretty sure any mics will do. Mine doesn't have to be anything that's fancy schmancy. $200. Most mics are good enough. We don't have much problems with that. So you gotta have a mic and you gotta have to talk. That's about it. All right. So let us know about that. What else? Did I miss anything, Cam? Socials?
No, I think you're good to go.
All that stuff's being put up there. The
links are in the chat.
Discord, Jason's channel, Madman's channel, Dean's channel, everything's up there. I will be putting up soon the next for the Top Lofty Lounge. I'll be doing the next on the Discord. We'll put up the next 2 options for movie night, because we do movie night about once every 4 weeks, once a month. And Cam, have we agreed what we're going to do for movie night?
Yes.
I think it's going to be Damnation Alley versus the original Planet of the Apes. Now, one problem with that is Planet of the Apes, I don't know, is available free on YouTube or Internet Archive or anything like that. So that's the one problem with that. Damnation Alley is. That's the George Papard one. I remember watching that as a kid. But so if you choose Planet of the Apes, then you're going to have to find your own way to get it. But it's probably not a problem because it's been out there a long time. It's probably around. I've got a copy myself.
Actually, you can get it on Daily Motion.
Daily Motion has it?
Daily Motion has it.
All right. Let me, I'll have to search there and maybe put it up. If it's chosen. It hasn't been chosen yet, but all right. Okay. That's about it.
From 18?
What?
From 18.
18? George Papard? Yeah. He's in Damnation Alley. Yeah.
And Michael Vincent.
I never seen that movie.
And Paul Winfield.
Vote for it when I put it up if you want to see it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that people will be keen on Planet of the Apes. The original Charlton Heston version. Great movie. All right. Okay, that's all we have. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Hope you enjoyed the show and the episode, and we'll see you next week, or if not, on Sunday. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Like, subscribe, share. Join us on Discord. See you next week.